To start this piece, I'm going to need 5 pairs. I've got 3 pinholes across the start line, one on the left, one in the middle and one on the right. The left and right are sitting on the lines of the trail. I'm going to hang 2 pairs on the left hand pin, and I'm going to hang them open like a rainbow. This is 1, this is 2. So that's on the outside, that's on the inside. I'm going to twist the left hand pair twice, once, twice. This pair will be the worker, this pair will be a passive. Next I'm going to hang 2 pairs on this central pin, but this time I'm going to hang them side by side. 1, 2. So they're next to each other. These are 2 passives, and then on the final pin I'm going to hang the last passive pair. Okay, so now I'm going to start working the braid. I'm going to do a couple of rows on this braid until I get to the corner, and then I'm going to show you a sharp corner turn. Okay, so I'm going to pick up the worker and I'm going to work in cloth stitch through the 4 passives. When I get to the end, I need to pin halfway along this line. I'm going to put 2 twists on the worker, place a pin, tension it up and put 2 more twists after the worker. The number of twists will increase depending on the length of the line between braids and the distance you have to fill. So I've got 2 twists there. Just tension those down a bit. Now I'm going to tension these twists so they click above the pin. And now I'm going to add 2 more twists, which are going to come back along towards the trail. Now I'm going to cloth stitch the worker back to the inside through the 4 passives. And this brings us to our first corner. So this is a sharp corner turn. If I move these pairs out of the way, you might just be able to see that I've put a pinhole in the sharp point of the corner turn, and I've actually placed another one just in the middle of the trail where that arrow is, because we're going to need 2 pins in this corner. So bringing the pairs down again, I'm going to place the first pin under the worker and the first passive pair, and I'm going to place it in that pinhole there in the crook of the corner. I'm going to leave the worker behind, and I'm going to twist the passive pair once, and that will now become a worker. I'm going to work this out in cloth stitch through the remaining 3 passives. I'm going to twist the worker twice, place the pin halfway along the line, tension to click the 2 twists above the pin, twist twice more, and then I'm going to bring the worker back through, and this time I'm going to bring it back through those 3 pairs that I worked out through, again in cloth stitch. And we're going to do the same that we did before, and we're going to pin under this worker and under the first passive pair in that pinhole in the middle of the braid. Leaving the worker behind, I'm going to twist the passive pair once, and I'm going to work it out through these remaining 2 pairs, and this will take us to this point. Now, because we're going to the point, instead of working through in cloth stitch, I'm going to work through in a turning stitch. The turning stitch is 5 movements, which is cross the middle 2, twist both pairs, cross the middle 2, twist both pairs, across the middle two. You can remember this if you want as a half stitch followed by a cloth stitch. So we can do a half stitch and then we can do a cloth stitch. It's 5 movements, it's the same thing. So I've worked through both pairs in a turning stitch, and I'm now going to work 2 twists to get to the central cross point of these lines. 1, 2, put up my pin, just going to turn the pillow slightly, tension my work around the pin, add 2 more twists, and then I'm going to come back through these same 2 pairs again in a turning stitch. Cross, twist, cross, twist, cross, and again cross, twist, cross, twist, cross. You can see I've turned the pillow because I'm turning the corner, and I'm just going to tension up these turning stitches to get them to sit up to the point of that turn. So the next thing I need to do is I need to sew this worker in to this first pinhole. So I'm going to take the pin out, and I'm going to use my hook, and I'm going to collect the first thread near to the hook, bring it through the hole to make a loop, take the partner bobbin through the loop, and then I'm going to lay these down. But when I lay them down, I need to make sure that there are no twists on that pair. This is now a passive to go with the other 2 here. So now I'm going to pick up the next pair along, which was the worker that we left behind before, and this is going to work out in cloth stitch through the braid. Cross, twist, cross, in cloth stitch. And again, I'm at the outside edge. I'm going to put 2 twists on the worker. Just turn the pillow because I'm right the way around the corner. Place a pin halfway across that line, tension up, place 2 more twists, tension my passives, and then I'm going to work back in cloth stitch through 3 pairs. 1, 2, 3. Again, I'm going to take the pin out here, which is the first pin I put in the corner, right at the little crook point of that corner, and I'm going to sew the worker in. So I'm going to put the hook through the hole, pick up the nearest thread, bring it through the hoop to make a loop, pass its partner through the loop, and then lay this down as a passive pair. Again, I'll be tensioning these pairs as I come along. Now that's laid down as a passive pair, I'm going to pick up my original worker again, and I'm going to work that in cloth stitch through all 4 passives. 1, 2, 3, 4. Twist the worker twice. Place my pin halfway along the line, just tensioning up the passives there. Tension up the worker so the 2 twists sit above the pin, add 2 more twists, and then cloth stitch back through the trail. This is a very tiny gap here, so I'm just going to put 1 twist on the worker. I'm going to put a pin in halfway along that line. That's going to look quite snug, but that's where we're going to sew in when we finish the piece. tension up, one more twist, and then work back through the trail. I'm going to continue in this way all the way along this line, placing pins on either side. So here I'll put 2 twists, pin, 2 twists, but over here, can you see it's getting wider? I'll put 3 twists, pin, 3 twists. So where it's wider, I'll put 3 twists before and after the pin. Where it's narrower, I'll put 2 twists before and after the pin. And I'm going to work all the way down here until I get to the point where I'm going to turn this corner down here. Okay.